What's happening, folks? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today's Wednesday, October 12th. Hope you're doing well today. And in this short video, going to be discussing Tilray stock, ticker symbol TLRY. And we're going to be doing some technical analysis. We'll talk about the short squeeze that was short-lived. It's been a wild ride for investors, but a paradise for traders. The volatility is returning. Getting a lot of questions about Tilray, what to expect in the days and weeks ahead. So I'll give my opinion. I want to do more videos like this where it's short and sweet, and I give you just an overall technical perspective, and I'll mix some fundamentals in there as well. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe and tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future video uploads or when I go live. So I mentioned, if you remember this video here, Biden pardons simple MJ possession offenses. And if you haven't seen this, make sure you subscribe. And again, tick the bell to be notified on any new posts or any new videos. This video, it went a little long, but I did mention in that live stream that I expected the most likely scenario for Tilray was a gap up and then a sell off. And again, we don't know for sure. No one has a crystal ball, but that was the most likely scenario just based on we had no support, we had earnings coming, and the broader market was weak the next day as well. And as you can see, we missed on both EPS and revenue estimates, so that hurt the sector. I was expecting not a whole lot really from the earnings because of the fact that we were in a bear market. We needed a sector-wide catalyst, but we got that sector-wide catalyst, which was Biden pardoning simple MJ possession offenses, and also Jim Cramer shielded Tilray stock that day. Obviously helped add some momentum, but again, I wasn't worried about the individual earning reports for an individual company. Yes, Tilray was a leader in the space and is the leader in the space in terms of market cap, but essentially it was a nothing burger because we were in a bear market. We needed a sector-wide catalyst. We got that catalyst, so then I was paying more attention to their earnings because it was either going to be, it was going to add more momentum, more fuel to the fire, and if it was a positive outcome, it would have helped the sector, and a lot more since we had that catalyst that got us out of the sector, right? So we didn't expect, Tilray, if they beat, to skyrocket everything 20, 30, 40, maybe even 80% like we did with the Biden news, right? But it ended up being a buy the rumor, sell the news. We actually were talking about it in the POW Group private community. Shout out to POW member Sean. He was saying that a couple of days before the Biden news came out that we actually we've heard some rumblings that we could see some potential movement with regards to the regulatory front in the US. And then sure enough, like 2 days later, we got the news. So again, buy the rumor, sell the news. When you hear about the rumor, people buy. And then once the news comes out, people sell. And that's exactly what I expected, was a potential gap up on Friday. So the news came out late on Thursday. I said more than likely going to see a gap up because the news caught people off guard. It came out right at the end of the day. And then after the market closed, people were finally figuring out what was going on. And then the next day, the people who were impatient, right, they bought and they FOMO'd in. They had fear of missing out. And then they bought the open. And then, like I said in that video, if you go back and listen, I know it's long, but if you would have listened, you would have had the exact playbook. I said potential gap up, but don't be surprised because we have no support on the hourly, because we have no support on the 5-minute chart, not just on Tilray, but on pretty much all MJ. I said, don't be surprised if we gap up and see a lot more upside. So from the high of the previous day, we gapped up another 5%. And then I said, don't be surprised if we pull back 10 to 20%, test the 350, the 325 area. We dropped that day. We went all the way up to 409 and then dropped to 313. We closed near the low of the day. And then the next day, and then that day we missed on earnings, right? So the fact that we missed on earnings that morning and we still gapped up and then the broader market was weak, that was a perfect time to sell, right? And again, exactly what I said happened was a potential gap up and then a pull back to around 325. We actually exceeded that. We hit 313, closed near the low of the day, and the rest of the market was still weak. And we're essentially just in limbo mode right now in the broader market because we're waiting for the CPI data to come out tomorrow, which is going to tell us whether or not we still have red hot inflation. And then it's going to obviously give a lot more insight as to whether or not the Fed is going to continue its interest rate hikes, or they're going to pivot. They're going to turn a little bit more dovish. That remains to be seen. But again, those numbers come out tomorrow. So that's going to be very telling. But we started daily consolidation the next day. We lost the low of the previous daily candle there at 313, meaning we started daily consolidation, but we're still in a daily uptrend. We had the low, high, higher low, and higher high, right? So we had the daily bounce, we had the daily move, we had the daily trend change, but we had no support. We even had another higher low and higher high. We had no support down to 283 on the daily time frame. Where did we hit today? 283, perfect double bottom, and the daily uptrend still intact, closing near the high of the day. So we could see, based on the lack of resistance all the way up to 409, and closing at the high of the day today, we could see the daily bounce get underway tomorrow. But again, if we see weak numbers and CPI data, which I think is going to come in bearish, that could be bad for the MJ sector, right? Because it's going to be headwinds. If the broader market's weak, that means that more than likely MJ is going to be weak. But again, any news, any fundamental news can change that, right? We could see more news with regards to any kind of reform, right? And safe banking, I do think that safe banking has a very high chance of passing. If you recall from my Normal interview with Morgan Fox, the political director there at Normal, a company that lobbies the US government, this video right here, we talked about the potential of rescheduling. We talked about the potential of safe banking and uplisting into the end of the year in a potential lame duck session. Lame duck just means if the parties are switching power, then that last few months that the party that is leaving that respective office, right? So if the Republicans take control of the Senate or the House, that would be after that news is confirmed, that would be the lame duck session, right? So it's just that transition period before we have a new entity coming in to take over, right? Whether it be the Republicans, Democrats. Again, I'm not getting political. I don't care who wins. I'm from Canada. All I want is what's best for MJ. And smash the like, share the video with anybody that might find value, as it helps the adoption of and the movement of MJ, right? The more people we can get the news out to, the better. And this is the time where you want to be buying, right? People felt good buying here because prices were going up and they thought that this was finally the end. But I feel better buying down here before this news, and then I feel really good once this news comes out. Did I anticipate this coming? Absolutely. Did I do anything about it? No, I did not, because I have a long-term mentality. If you're a trader, that's great. It's a paradise for you. Like I said, in one day we were up almost 40%, and then the next day we dropped and gave the whole move back, basically about 24%. But essentially, it was an entire move given back because of the broader market weakness, because we're still in weekly and monthly downtrends. We're still in a bear market. And like I said, buy the rumors, sell the news, and then we usually get a sustained move afterwards. And again, I said, cool the jets. Let's not get too excited because we've seen this before, right? We've seen MJ pump and dump, and we have the macroeconomic factors at hand, the geopolitical tensions at play, right? With the war going on, we have the interest rate hikes and inflation, rising inflation. So there's so much macroeconomically going on that's really, putting a damper on the MJ party. But I do think that MJ is going to steal the show into 2023. We know that New York and Germany are coming online in 2023. We know that after we see rescheduling and descheduling, we see MJ removed from a Schedule 1, and then we see big conglomerates enter the space. We know that Jones Soda is looking to enter the space. Well, they already did. And we know that PepsiCo has already trialed Rockstar Hemp through CBD in Germany almost 2 years ago now. So if Pepsi's trialing it and Jones Soda is already in it, in the industry, how long before Pepsi and Coca-Cola follow suit, right? And I know what you're thinking, we've heard that before, but the fact is that this is still federally illegal and Schedule 1, right? So, and then not only that, once it's once it's moved to a different schedule, if it's no longer Schedule 1, that's going to increase the amount of profits that the overall companies are going to be making in the US as well. That's going to help with taxation, right? Which we know is eating 10 to 15% of their margins, right? And their profits. So again, this is all going to help the MJ space. But again, we need to confirm weekly uptrends. We need to confirm monthly uptrends. So we had the weekly uptrend, but a lot of our names didn't confirm weekly uptrends yet. But we're not too worried about the weekly time frame because we've done that before, and then we just gave it all back and dropped to a monthly lower low and a monthly downtrend. What we need to see for the sector to bottom out is a monthly trend change. Once that happens, once we see the monthly bounce top out, form a higher low and a higher high, that's going to confirm a monthly uptrend, then we'll be confident that the bear market is over. And like I said, I do think that even if the broader market is weak into 2023, I think that we could see MJ go against the grain and outperform a lot of those asset classes, specifically crypto and tech stocks. I think they're going to enter a multi-year bear market, and we're going to see MJ enter a multi-year bull market because MJ hasn't really participated in this everything bubble of 2022, right? It did for a short period up to about February 2021, and then we all dropped to pretty much all-time lows and new all-time lows. So again, not participating in the everything bubble, and I do think that into next year, MJ is going to steal the show. MSOS still in a daily uptrend as well, the low high, higher low, and higher high. So I did add Tilray and MSOS to my long-term portfolio yesterday. And again, this is why patience is great, right? Instead of buying, I still hadn't really packed all of my bags with regards to Tilray and MSOS. I wanted to add more, and here I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a little bit of FOMO, but I said, you know what, just wait. We still haven't confirmed weekly and monthly uptrends, and sure enough, we gave the whole move back. So now I'm just adding to those positions, right? Accumulating, more time to accumulate. MSOS still in a daily uptrend as well, so they're both very strong. And Tilray on the weekly time frame, what I want to see by this Friday is a weekly close over that $3.33 area. You can see here we were closing, came back, tested as support, but back below it again. We're seeing another bull cross of the stochastic, and the MACD is still bullish. So what I want to see is a close this week over 333 to see more upside into next week. But again, don't lose sight of the fact that we could see 1 or 2 more legs down in SPY, maybe test around 325 on the S&P 500, and that would mean more downside and headwinds for MJ. But I am expecting a pretty big move up to around $5. I think $5 into the next 1 to 2 months for Tilray is very doable. And then into the end of the year, if we get any kind of safe banking, if we get progress on rescheduling and it is no longer classified as Schedule 1, I could easily see 10, which would line up with the 100 weekly moving average there, or even the 200 weekly moving average there at around $19.90, which is about $20 psychological. So I could easily see Tilray at $10 to $20 if we get, uplisting news from the NYSE to the NASDAQ for a lot of our MJ names in the US. And we could even see a moving average 50 and the 200-day moving average cross over the next couple of months. You can see here that it's crossing the shorter term time frame under the longer term. The 50 crossing through the 200 is referred to as a golden cross. That would mean a lot more upside for Tilray and the MJ industry at large. So again, I am expecting a massive move here. I do think there's an 80 to 90% chance we're going to get safe banking, we're going to get uplisting, and we're going to get rescheduling. We're going to get MJ removed from Schedule 1. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me, disagree with me. But like I said, wouldn't be surprised if we saw $5 over the next month or two, and then into the end of the year, maybe December into January, I could easily see a $10 to $20 price tag for Tilray if we get all of those said factors confirmed. All right, going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Power Group. Smash the like, share the video with anybody that might find value. I'd appreciate it, and we'll see you again in the next video.